Hey, everybody. I'm doing the news this week a little early. We're getting closer and closer to departure day. I've been over at the camper every day this week doing general maintenance because it's been sitting there for over a year, hasn't been moved. So I've got a couple of the undercarriage compartments whose handles that open those doors has literally frozen up because of oxidation and things like that. So I've had to tear the doorknobs off, tear them apart, clean them out, re-lubricate them, put them back on. And I noticed last night as I was coming home, I was locking all the doors and I checked one other door and there's a handle froze up on it too. These are the things you got to do in an RV when you let them sit in storage. Just so you guys know that any of you out there that's thinking about buying an RV, and I know this should be on the RV channel, I'm just throwing it out there while it's in this little bitty head of mine, that maintenance on these things are continual if you don't use them. These things are made to be used. You have to use the shower, which makes the water pump work. Keeps water circulating through the lines so that things like mold doesn't start growing inside your water lines. And yes, it will. That's why you have to flush them out with bleach every so often. You have to make sure that black tank is being sloshed around or at least being cleaned out once in a while. And same thing with your freshwater tank. Water will go bad in an RV in a tank if you leave it set. And you really shouldn't let it set dry either, because mold and stuff will grow in it. I'll get off that rant. This ain't an RV channel. News. Here's news. This is big news, I think. Can you see it right here in my paper? I'll hold it back here a little bit. Maybe it'll focus a little bit. Something new and exciting is coming. Harvest, a freshwater cuisine and fine wines. This is the same company, FMK Foods, that owns or operates anyway all the other restaurants south of 466A, which is Bluefin, Scooples, which other ones? Evans Prairie Country Club, Bonifay Country Club, and I believe also I've been so long since I've been in all these. Anyway, the other country club clear over there by Pine Hills, they own all them and run them. So they're starting another one called Harvest. Exciting part about this isn't the fact that we have another restaurant coming to town. It's the fact that they're going to be the first restaurant to go into a building that was built over 5 or 6 years ago. It's never had anybody in it. They're going in it. Straight across the street from Bluefin, that building on the corner, gorgeous building on the corner, has never had anybody in it at any time. There's been rumors about different restaurants going in, and now we have confirmation that this restaurant from FMK Foods is going to go in, and I believe this one's going to be real. FMK will go in there because they have such a stronghold hand in many restaurants in the villages. They're not the game. They play the game, so they will be in that restaurant. It doesn't say anything about when they're going to go in. It doesn't say anything about predicting any kind of an opening date or anything, but I'll keep you informed the best that I can. I'm looking forward to it, a different restaurant. Starting off with the news. A 77-year-old villager was arrested in an alleged racial tirade after throwing her Whopper sandwich at a Burger King employee. 77 years old, and you act like you're 13. My God, it's okay to have a young mind and to do things, but what are you doing throwing a sandwich at some kid in a Whopper restaurant just trying to make some money? Come on. How bad can the sandwich possibly be? Oh, Lord. Judith Ann Black of the village of Pine Ridge was apparently enraged over the thickness of her tomato. Oh, God. I don't blame you. That's ass-kicking time when you give me a tomato that's too thin or too thick. Good Lord. She was served the Whopper sandwich Friday evening at the Burger King restaurant at Trailwinds Village on County Road 466A. By the way, Trailwind Village, it's a play on words. They all do it. That is not part of the villages. It's just across the street from the villages, and it is not golf cart accessible by villagers, which I know you're going to see over there. They're going to sneak over there, but I say this, look over your shoulder, don't get caught. She confronted the Burger King employee at the counter and was yelling at her, according to the arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. The Burger King worker tried to convince the Texas native to calm down and said she could not help her if she did not stop yelling. The worker turned her back on Black, who threw the Whopper at the employee, hitting her in the back. Shut up, you... There's going to be a dirty word here. Shut up, you black bitch, the villager told the employee. Well, what the heck caused that? Good Lord. Black proceeded to use the N-word before storming out of the restaurant, the report said. The Burger King manager, a worker at Burger King, and an independent customer all verified employees' account of what happened. Video surveillance footage also corroborated what the employee told law enforcement. Another employee captured the license plate of the white Dodge Ram pickup in which Black was traveling when it left the parking lot. Officers tracked down Black and read her Miranda rights. She admitted she had confronted a Burger King employee at the counter over the thickness of the tomato on her Whopper. She said she was angry, that the employee was not fixing the issue. The report said she admitted the burger in my hand and tossed it at her. She confirmed it hit the Burger King worker. Miss Black also stated that she called the victim a stupid black bitch. Well, she's consistent. Because of the racial language used by Black, this enhances the charge of battery from a misdemeanor of the first degree to a felony of the third degree under Florida state statute 775.085. The officer wrote in a report, Black was booked in Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $2,500 bond. You can't make this stuff up. 77-year-old lady was mad because of the thickness slice of her tomato, and then started to rant. Maybe it's just me, but that's got to be drugs talking, right? Who does that? Who does that? Mangrove Executive Golf Course reopens after $141,348 bridge replacement. Villager driving Lexus with New York plates crashes into pole at Publix liquor. A villager driving a Lexus SUV with New York license plates was arrested after crashing into a light pole at the Publix liquor store in the Villages. I believe that was Lake Deaton Shopping Plaza over there. The crash occurred at about 5 p.m. Saturday near the liquor store at Lake Deaton Plaza. Witnesses said the maroon SUV struck the light pole and the driver was identified by her New York driver's license as 56-year-old Lorna Richardson, who is living in a rented villa on Shoe Street in the Cliff Villas in the village of Southern Oaks. It appeared she had been drinking and was invited to participate in field sobriety exercises. The Brooklyn native missed the heel to toe in her first step and advised she could not perform the exercises. According to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office, she refused to attempt the one-legged stand. You know, I can understand that part of it, the one-legged stand. As I get older and older, and, I know people that's older, knee issues, knee replacements, hip problems, hip replacements, the one-legged stand could be very, very difficult for some people. And I don't think they should be penalized because of that. I mean, they probably got something that they can do different. I'm sure they do. I don't know that. I'm ignorant when it comes to what police officers can and can't do on things like this. I know they have, they're specially trained to look for signs of drinking and driving or being under the influence of a drug or something. But the one-legged stand thing, there's got to be some alternatives there. Richard provided one breast sample that registered 0.262 blood alcohol content. Whoops. She refused to provide a second sample. What's the point? Really. She was arrested on charge of driving under the influence and booked at Sumter County Detention Center. She was released after posting a $1,000 bond. A romantic rival has been arrested as a suspect in a tire slashing incident at a care facility in the Villages. An employee at Buffalo Crossings Assisted Living at 3890 Woodridge Drive reported that he had been at work April 18th when he discovered all 4 tires of his vehicle had been flattened. He found cut marks in the walls of all four tires, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Man said that he suspected his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, 43-year-old George Henry Duche of Homosassa, of slashing his tires. The man said he has found his tires damaged 2 previous times, costing him $400. He said he did not report those incidents. Village surveillance showed Duche, a former employee of Buffalo Crossings Assisted Living, arriving in the parking lot in a silver Mitsubishi SUV and parking near where the victim's vehicle was located. Duche was contacted by the sheriff's detectives and agreed to an interview Friday at the sheriff's substation at Pinellas Plaza in the Villages. The Frankfurt, Germany native was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of criminal mischief. He was booked at the Sumter County Sheriff's Office and released after posting a $1,000 bond. A man from Guatemala arrested on a charge of driving without a license after he was spotted pulling out of a Wawa parking lot. Cirillo Rodriguez Gonzalez, 22, of Hawthorne, was driving a gray Ford Mustang at 2:30 p.m. Sunday and pulling out of the Wawa on US 301 and County Road 466 in Oxford when an officer ran a license plate number and discovered the vehicle's registration owner does not have a Florida driver's license, according to the arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. A traffic stop was initiated at the nearby Oxford Land Company on US 301. The defendant spoke little English and translated via Google Translate. To me, all he had was an ID card from Guatemala, the officer wrote in the arrest report. Gonzalez told the officer he has been living in Florida for 3 years. He was arrested on a charge of driving without a valid license. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $150 bond. This next story is kind of a sad story and disgusting story, really, but it's about Freedom Point Assisted Living, which is up by Spanish Springs. Been here for many, many years. It's a beautiful building. They have golf cart parking. They got an indoor parking facility there for visitors of parents and things that may be in there. They have full access to the villages there. If I had to go to an assisted living place, you know, some of the assisted living places they have here in the villages is by far top notch. I've been in them. How much do they cost? Probably an arm and a leg, literally, but they're top notch. Story is, a licensed practical nurse has been sentenced in connection with the death last year of an 87-year-old dementia patient at Freedom Point in the Villages. My father had dementia, and he also had Alzheimer's, which I know it sounds like the same thing, but it's not. So I know how frustrating it can be. I took care of Dad. He made me promise I'd never put him in an assisted living, and I told him I wouldn't. And so I lived with him for the last few months of his life. As you all probably watched my videos, you already know this. And yeah, I needed help, and I had hospice come in to help. My son came in to help. I had Sue fly up a couple of times to stay with me to help. It's exhausting. That's all I can really tell you. It's just exhausting, mentally and physically. Gail, 72, Spruce Creek South in Summerfield, pleaded guilty to a charge of neglect this past week in Sumter County Court. She has been placed on probation for 3 years. The Michigan native had been arrested after the woman was found dead on the morning of July 18th at Freedom Point Assisted Living. An investigation revealed she had died the previous day. The patient had been sitting in a common area of the facility when she fell, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Gail told a certified nursing assistant to put the woman to bed. The CNA said that she did not feel comfortable doing this because the woman seemed unresponsive and appeared to need medical attention. Gail claimed the patient was heavily medicated. Detective interviewed Freedom Point's assisted living director, who said that Gail never documented the patient's fall. Days later, in an interview with the detective, Gail claimed the patient was really out of it. The standard protocol is to render care to a fall patient, including neurological checks, assessments of vital signs, and notifying a physician as well as the patient's family. Gail admitted she failed to perform any of these duties during the incident. She was terminated from Freedom Point. Sad. Just sad. Well, these guys are getting holes in ones, it seems like every day. I played golf for, I don't know, off and on, not regularly, for years. I never got a hole in one. I feel discriminated against. Just kidding. Villager Norman Bison, a 100% disabled veteran, got a hole-in-one April 22nd while golfing at Hilltop Executive Course. He got the hole-in-one on hole number 9, 105 yards. Well, good for you, sir. Thank you for your service, and congratulations on the hole-in-one. A 73-year-old villager who was lending a hand to a lady friend was arrested after allegedly wielding a tire iron in a dispute with another man. James Edward Rogers, who lives at 831 Romus Drive in the village of Rio Grande, is free on $15,000 bond following his arrest this past Tuesday after turning himself in on a warrant charging him with aggravated battery. His arrest stemmed from April 2nd incident in which he was helping a woman move her belongings out of a residence in Tavares, according to an affidavit of probable cause from Lake Sumter County Sheriff's Office. A 911 call was received after a man was injured when Rogers struck him in the face with a 4-way tire iron. Ouch! Man, that could have cracked a man's skull. Apparently he didn't care. The man suffered multiple lacerations to the face and head. Rogers also allegedly pulled a handgun out of his pocket. Another man at the scene subdued Rogers before law enforcement arrived. The injured man was transported to Advent Health Waterman Hospital in Tavares and suffered permanent scarring to the face, the affidavit said. During a first appearance on the charge in Lake County Court, Rogers entered a plea of not guilty. What? Well, I guess that's it. Laurel Manor Sports Pool will be closed for maintenance. That's it. That's the news. I'll get this thing edited. I'll try to get a few pictures thrown in, put them up here somewhere so you can see who we're talking about. With that being said, I got to get out of here, get this stuff done. You guys take care. Have yourself a good weekend and follow us on the RV channel. At least you'll know what direction I decided to take and where we're going to go. And I'll try to keep you updated as early as I can about where we're going to stop, what we're going to see, so on and so forth. Maybe we can meet some of you for lunch or something as we go down the road. Hopefully we can. We love doing that kind of thing. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. See you all on the other side.